Yay. Good Monday morning, everyone. You are listening to Author Talk with me, Amy, Fern, Russell, and our lovely guest today is Russ. So you guys, hey, how is everybody doing? How was your weekend? What's going on?
I couldn't have a better start to my day because a wasp chased Fern out of her studio screaming, "Ah!" How good a day is that going to be?
You're such an evil.
Screaming maniac.
I thought he was going to say because he gets to talk with all of us. I was going that route.
Well, that's good, but seeing Fern chased out of her office by a wasp is way more better.
Hey, but you handled it. You did it. You go, girl. Yes.
Her poor father had to come up the stairs.
No. My papa was not here. And so I killed this one. He has killed the other two that have dared.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Enter my domain. And they have died. And now this one has died too. And, you would think that they would get the clue.
You only have like 25 dragons behind you. You'd think one of those dragons would protect you, but you can't be too brave about dragons when you run from the wasp.
Oh, that's so mean. Why you gotta
dragons?
It's a good way to start our Monday morning.
It is. I love my Monday mornings with y'all.
I'm proud of you, Fern. I'm proud of you. Good job.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That takes a lot. I couldn't do that.
I have to tell you, I love the wasp killing raid because it's like a shooting straight stream. I mean, like you get to be like all like, take that.
You realize you're breathing poison chemicals.
No, that's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is it catches them and it instantly is just like they plop and they can't.
So it's like Spider-Man.
How is that? Okay.
Okay, and they can't fly anymore. They're no longer a threat because those things are terrible. I mean, bees are lovely. Bees, I mean, you could be around bees. They're lovely. Wasps, they'll sting you just because. I mean, they're just so and then they sting you.
I'm not arguing with her. She's right about that.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan of either one. Personally, I'm just like, go away. Okay, I don't like anything flying around me. It just creeps me out. Okay, personally. But no, I am currently gearing up for the 12 days of page turners, which all of you guys know is the first 12 days of December. I have finally assigned days to our 38 authors that are participating. And so, let's just say that that's what I've been spending all of my weekends doing since Halloween is getting ready for this thing to kick off. Okay. I am going to be happy and fun and excited when December 12th rolls around and it's the final showdown, the big party, everything's done. But until then, I'm just going to embrace this overwhelmed funness that's going on. And I'm learning a lot about new books and genres that I did not know were there. And it's great. Nonfiction, fiction, fantasy, sci-fi, anything. It's fantastic.
Amy, you're on you're thinking Hot Mess Express conversation. No,
I'm getting there. Hey, everything starts blending together. When you're on 5 shows and your only day off is Thursday, everything blends. Okay, every show becomes the other show.
I have to say, I applaud you because you have managed to schedule so many things. I mean, you schedule Author Talk, you schedule Through the Eyes of Authors, you schedule these wonderful promotions for people. I mean, my friend, you do a beautiful job of managing all these schedules. You can come manage my life if you would like.
Well, I can't manage
she'll shut her window. She would like that.
Yeah, I'll just come shut your window every day and help you out like that. I can do that.
You can come wield the raid. Russell, you can come wield the raid. Okay?
Well, you should have waited. I could have come right over. I give you my word as a lawyer.
Well, that has true weight right there. The word of a lawyer. Anyways, our fantastic guest of the moment is Russ. And we are so excited to have you. So with all of this being said in raid and wasp killer that has gone on this morning, I'm going to kick it to you, Fern, and let's get Russ talking about what all he does in his book.
So, Russ, obviously you don't have any wasp killing stories in your book.
No, if we hear any screaming in my household, my wife is throwing shoes at spiders. And so there might be, there might be some serious spider incidents, but outside of that, no, usually not wasps inside our house. We're normally okay with that.
Nice.
But you did like startle me there for a moment when you were saying Russell. I was about to answer because that's what my mother always called me. So yeah, I was getting startled there for a moment, but I'm all good now. And so far, I haven't heard any screams from the other room, so we're all good.
You're pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Russ, okay, you wrote a book, right? You wrote a book because that's why you're here on Author Talk. So tell us, yes, I love that cover and I love that name, Befuddled. It's such a beautiful word.
It is.
So, so what brought you? Let's start at the beginning. What made you decide to write this book?
Well, it's really interesting. I was having a meeting today and talking about my book with a business person here in Oregon that I work with. I have a great friend who's also the co-host of my Wednesday live show that really encouraged me to write this book. And we had this meeting October of 2019. He said, I'm sales and marketing manager for a large corporation at that point. And he's telling me, you should really think about doing a little side gig, doing some coaching, doing some speaking, because you're doing that with your business, maybe some live streaming, podcasting. What about a book? And so we're talking about all this. I'm like, yeah, well, and so I start the wheels in motion and I do all this. He about January says to me, you should check out this Zoom thing. We have a meeting. You should pop on, see what you think. You can meet online. So we're doing that. And then March hits and what happened in March? Oh, that's right. The world shut down. So at that point, it was like the voice of God saying to me, literally, Russ, this is what you need to do. I'd already started the wheels in motion, got my website, did the outline for my book, really started dabbling in live streaming and podcasting. And all of a sudden, my wife just looks at me and she goes, if you ever really wanted to do this, now is the time. Oh. So I launched into it 100%. I went from doing virtually no writing on my book to it was done and edited in about 4 to 5 months at the publisher and out about 7 months later. So because suddenly God had created all the space for me and the ability to have time to do these things. So the name Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, the main title, Befuddled, comes directly from my beautiful wife because one day I was rushing out of the house, out of sorts. She looked at me and she goes, are you okay, honey? And I said, no, I'm fine. Because that's my go-to. I'm good. Everything is great. She goes, no, we've been married 34 years almost. She goes, you look a little befuddled.
I got to tell you, I hate it when my wife says stuff like that. I hate that.
Well, it worked, though, because it turned out to be a great title for a book. And so the Live the Life You Choose is all me. I'm the positive, upbeat, live the life you choose guy. That's really what it takes you from not being befuddled, moving to living the life you choose. So in that point, Russell, my wife was a blessing, and I have a beautiful wife who does bless me every day. So I'm very thankful for that. So that's how the book all came about.
I have to just toss in real quick. So does Russell. Okay. Russell has a beautiful wife who's not listening to him.
He does. Melinda, we love you.
We
Melinda.
do not transcribe these recordings. We do not.
Okay,
so I'm
I get it. So you want me to send her a message of how thankful you are and how beautiful she is and how she puts up with you? Because I'll do it.
No, she won't believe it. She won't believe it. We need to get back to Russ. All this positivity on Monday morning.
Well, Russ, so that's how you came to the book. Now, I am really interested in this book. It talks about like actionable things to like help you to figure out, okay, what is the direction that you're going to live your life? And, we're all trying to figure that out, right? I think that's like the essential question of life is like, what am I supposed to do with myself? So what are some of the key, give us a few, obviously people need to buy the book and read it, but without giving too much away, what are some of the things that you share with us in that book that people could, kind of apply into their lives,
Well, I can tell you a few things. And, the first 3 chapters of my book really kind of sum up the theme. Chapter 1 is fighting through the noise. Chapter 2 is be intentional. And chapter 3 is purpose in the midst of chaos. I had to think about that for a minute. And so really, I really talk about how to go from all the noise and the craziness of this world. And by the way, I came up with the chapter titles before COVID. So if you thought it was crazy before COVID, my wife is going, this really applies. You got to get this book out like now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but a couple things I talk about, and that is really starting your day right. I'm huge on morning routine, right? I'm huge on positive mindset. So we have all kinds of voices in our head, most of which are anxious, worrying, negative voices. A lot of times you wake up in the morning, what happens? You initially start thinking about, what am I going to do today? You're worried about what you have to get done, where you have to go, and you're already kind of fighting things before you even get out of bed. So I started a morning routine before my feet even hit the floor, and I do 3 things. I talk to myself, and I'm always telling people, you need to talk to yourself more. So 3 things that I say. First of all, I say I'm thankful. I'm thankful and grateful for God, for my family, for my beautiful wife, and all the great things in my life. And then number 2, I say, I've got this. I have the ability, the talents to move forward, be able to take on this day. And number 3, I say, today's going to be awesome. Now, when I tell people that, a lot of my friends look at me and go, yeah, Russ, there's no way I can't say that. First thing in the morning, my eyes are barely open. And I say, but what I'm doing, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you an example of what I do. And I put on what I call my awesome filter. We all filter life through a certain lens. Every day we go out there. And so if our lens is negative and already challenging right off the bat, it's going to be an uphill battle all day long. And life has enough worries and challenges as it is. So I choose to put on my awesome filter. And then everything that hits that, it's going through my awesome filter, and it doesn't seem quite so bad when things happen. You know, when COVID hit and suddenly I wasn't in the job that I had been doing for years and things had changed, it wasn't so bad because I already had my awesome filter on, thinking of things in a positive way. And I'm not one that says positive thought overcomes everything, that life is suddenly wonderful and magical and little, Tinkerbells floating around and we're all happy. But because I know everybody has challenges, and last 18 months have been super challenging for many people. But I can tell you, when you have a better perspective on life and a more positive outlook, things are always going to be better, and you're always going to do better no matter what happens.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, I'm a sci-fi person. So, what you were just talking about just brought to mind the Jedis. Be mindful of what you're thinking about, because I don't
know how your mind went there. I mean, I was all about how he said we should talk to ourselves more, and I was like, man, I talk to myself a lot, but I'm down. I can get down with that and talk to myself more. Like, I ain't got no problem. But then you're over here in the Jedi, and I'm like, well, I can't. I'm trying real hard to connect it, girl. I'm trying real hard.
You clearly weren't paying attention to what Liam Neeson said. Okay, in the movie. Okay, no, but the idea of being
what was that? The pink Jedi?
No.
Or the yellow Jedi? Which one was he?
That's the Power Rangers. That's not even the thing.
Oh, those were Power Rangers. Yeah, that's what I lead with.
No, but the power of your mind to really determine your focus and your experience, because you're right. Life is going to throw all kinds of things at you.
That's right. That's right.
So, coming at least every morning with a mindset ready to embrace the positive side of life. Yeah, I like that, because that's also kind of my philosophy as well. And I do love talking to yourself. I mean, a lot of us, we all do it, but we're not aware.
Fern, I thought your philosophy was coffee and a cigar to start the day.
Well,
there is no
and mascara. She started posting that mascara was the key to a morning.
I mean, It kind of is. It opens up, makes your eyeballs look awake when you ain't awake. Okay, let's be real. The mascara like opens, makes your eyes look bigger, so you look like you've been awake for hours and you could have just rolled out of bed. I mean, I'm all about that life. Yes, I dropped my daughter off looking like that. Okay, so I encourage that. So that's just me. But I can get the positive thinking with the Jedi and stuff and the talking to yourself. I mean, I do that, and I don't know, I'm like my biggest cheerleader and my worst critic, right? And so I have to I don't know, I have to do Woo-song, rub my ears like Martin Lawrence and Boyz II Men, right? Or Men, yeah, I think that's what it was. I can't remember the name, but I have to do that, and I'm like, you are amazing, you are amazing, you need to step away. And it I don't know, but it really makes me feel better. And then I go off and I get some tea or some coffee, and maybe I'll come back. But no, the mind and your mindset is a very powerful thing. And I feel like having a good mindset and being able to separate things and stuff like that is ultimately what leads to success in people, whether it's financial success, business success, or just feeling successful through life, right? Don't have to have all these monetary things. But I do believe mindset is very, very much coordinated with that. So on a heavier note, I do agree with you. The Jedi thing, I can get now that she's brought it back around. It took me a minute, but I did get it.
Your focus determines your reality.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, it is true. Focus is so important. What you focus on, you become. And, there's a book by Craig Rochelle, subtitle is Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. What we think becomes our actions. And so, I mean, it's important. It's important what we're putting into our mind. And Amy, I can totally relate. I mean, talking to myself has been easy because I've been in sales and marketing for over 35 years. And if I don't talk to myself half the time, nobody else is talking to me.
Right.
And, and if I'm not my best cheerleader, nobody else is either. But, most people have challenges with that. Most people are really easily their worst critic. Mm-hmm. Everybody is very critical of themselves, but very few people are their best cheerleader.
Yeah.
Because usually everybody's beating themselves up and not cheering themselves on. So what I say is reverse that. Cheer yourself on, be your best cheerleader, be positive about what's going forward, because if you're not, a lot of times nobody else will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was looking at your website and you have a really beautiful blog here on making connections, and I love your 5 simple ways, and I was wondering if you kind of would elaborate a little bit on them, because they're real. I mean, they just make sense to me. You just make sense, my friend.
Well, and that's interesting because they just happened to be in my book. And so I was
happened to be in your book.
Yeah. In chapter 2, making connections just happens to be in my book. Yeah. And so really good segue there. That was awesome.
You like it?
Yes. And you can see, so my podcast that I have Mondays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, quick ad, is called Marketing with Russ, aka #Russ Selfie. What you're looking at right there is a #Russ Selfie. That is a group of friends and ambassadors at one of the local chambers. And as you can see, I've had enough experience to be able to get everybody into that. Mm-hmm. We're all rawing, and I'm actually taking a selfie as we're doing it. I have found that selfies, which is also in my book, a little blip about it, is a great connection tool. I did it at first because it was fun. Everybody liked it. Everybody laughed and smiled, which I'm all about. But I found that when I take that selfie and I put it on social media, suddenly a few people in that selfie that didn't really know me from Adam, by the next time I see them, are like my best friends. They're hugging me. They're saying hi. They're just happy to see me. Well, hugging me pre-COVID. And they're, they're happy to see me because we have now been linked. And actually, I've sped that connection time up because they're doing what you're doing. They're going online and they're looking at things about me because they're in it now and they're part of it. So they become part of my life. But the making connection, the 5 steps, anybody can go to russhedge.com and download this for free. russhedge.com, you just enter your email and it'll send you a PDF link to this. But 5 simple steps. I'll say them quick. Number 1 is start. Number 2 is focus. Number 3 is be real and be friendly. Number 4 is be present. Number 5 is be consistent, repeat. And I think the 2 bookends to that are the most critical. Number 1, if you don't start, things are never going to happen. And I find that most people are too befuddled, too out of sorts to actually get started because they're thinking, they're planning, they're worrying, they're doing all kinds of stuff, but they're not starting. Maybe next month, maybe next year, and it never happens. And then when people do good things, they're not consistent and repeat that. So in the connection process, when I talk about connecting, I'm not connecting with you just to say, hi, Amy, hi, Fern, hi, Russell, nice to meet you guys, and never talk to you again. I want to connect. I want to talk again next month. I want to talk again next week. I want to stay friends, be connected. I want to repeat this process because I don't think connection is just contacting somebody and just drop it and saying, oh, it's great. Oh, yeah, I know Amy. Oh, yeah, I know Amy. We talked once back in, what was that, 20, whatever. But I mean, we've never talked again. So connection is all about a continual process. And that is what business is built on: true connection, true relationships, and that's what I'm all about.
Yeah. And I think that you hit it right on the head with the start, because a lot of people are waiting for the perfect moment for them to have all the money or all the time or all the resources for things to calm down in their lives. Hence, life never really calms down.
Right.
And you just got to do it. If you've got a vision for yourself, you have a desire, you just got to trust it and go with it,
Yeah. And even if you have no idea what you're doing, I had no idea how to write a book. I had no idea how to do live streaming and podcasting, and I did it anyway. And you know what? People are very forgiving because everybody else is in the same spot. In fact, usually when you mess up, and I'm sure you guys have found this, I'm doing my live stream shows, we mess up, people love it. That's their favorite show. They like when you mess up because they think, wow, they're just like me. They mess up on things too. And so that's why I'm just telling people, listen, don't wait till you figure it out. You're never going to get it all figured out. Just do it. Just move forward. That is how you progress in life. That is how you move forward. I'm huge on purpose and just moving. If you have passion and purpose around a certain topic or subject, do something with that. Make that really something significant in your life. You can have a profound effect on the people around you, on your center of influence, if you actually do things. And sometimes they're pretty simple. So you just have to get out there and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And consistency, like you said. I mean, I have seen a lot of businesses that, would have really been able to make it, but they give up.
Yeah.
Things get a little hard, they get a little tight, something they hoped would be exponentially great didn't turn out to be so great and only was small. And they just sort of give up. And it's like, you cannot despise the day of a small beginning,
Right.
and,
Right.
If you had a success, even if it's teeny tiny, keep going, it'll grow. But I see so many people not consistent. They just sort of, they start doing this, and then it gets tough and they stop, and then they start doing something else. It gets tough and they stop,
Right.
You've got to stay the course, and not let yourself be derailed.
You know who's really good at this though? I'm going to do a quick shout out. Russell, you are very good at this because I don't know how many of you guys actually know, but Author Talk was Russell Little's idea, and he wanted to do it with Sandy, and I was just helping at the time. And here we are 5 years later. We have done every show Monday at 10 a.m. It's live unless for whatever reason it has to be recorded. But we have done that consecutively for 5 years. And the only reason is because Russell had an idea to start a podcast called Author Talk. And we ran with it and went on every morning. So the greatest,
you're so sweet.
But it's true, because if Author Talk, if it was not for Russell Little, would not be what it is today. And so I believe, Russell, you live by that and being like,
well, you've accused me of being too optimistic many times. I'm a big believer in both persistence and optimism.
It's all in the name. It's in the name, right, Russell?
Yeah.
I don't know. We may be related because you're a Russell too.
There you go.
Russell women usually name their sons Russell, so there's a chance that we're related.
I love it. I love also how you were like, your shows, you get the more like most views or whatever on your show when you have mishaps and mistakes, and that is definitely an Author Talk motto 100%, especially ever since I've had children. It is definitely how we go. But, you know, I don't even know if we actually have it fully together, but we have our lives and they go on in the background. My children many times have been banging on the door. I've done a live afterwards of my daughter screaming and then not anymore because I've come out.
Those are the best shows.
They are.
They are. When your daughter comes in on the warpath, that's a show.
It is. I mean, it makes it, for me, I 100% agree with you, Russ, because it makes it relatable, and it's not people putting you up on a pedestal. They realize that you're human. You're trying to get through this thing called life as much as they are, and you're having fun doing it. And sometimes you have children having a meltdown in the background, and you're still going to do it, okay, muted or not, because it always happens when someone asks you a question, and you got to give an answer. You can't just sit there and not do it. So it's a wonderful thing. So I love that you say that. And I mean, yeah, Author Talk wouldn't be around if it wasn't for Russell and being consistent. So I definitely agree.
It is completely. They look at you, Amy, and Fern and Russell, and they say, "You guys have it all together. You're doing this." No. You know, I mean, Fern's there with her cigar. She's all ready. I mean, I can't be like that. I can't do that. I can't get out and do that. But you know what? You can do something, whether you can do that or something else. You just have to be willing to step forward and do it. We all have our own talents and abilities. And yes, maybe I can't smoke a cigar like Fern, but I can do my own thing, you know, and that is what it's all about. And I just think
and I love what you have, you know, bringing value to others. Yeah. And I think that's where what you're saying right now is talking about how you have to find what it is that you bring to the table. That's unique and special. You know, don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to copy this show or that show or be like so-and-so because you think, look at what they're doing. I want to be like that. Okay, take what you like, but then make it you. Yeah. Be you, you know, bring value, your value, because every one of you has something to contribute, you know, so that's just beautiful.
Well, when people say you can't be Fern, I say, you're right, I can't, but I can be Russ.
Yeah,
you know, that's exactly it. And really, when you are seeking to add value to others and to bless other people, if that is your intent, it's amazing the things that you can do because it just takes a simple smile. One of the greatest books ever is How to Win Friends and Influence People. And if you guys listening haven't read that book like 5 times already, get busy because that is all about how to do some great things in life by doing some simple little relationship building things. Part of that is a smile and kindness.
Was that Max Lucado who said that?
No, that is Dale Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie?
Yeah. And the famous Carnegie. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's an old book. You guys have never had him on your show because he was born about 7 decades before you were born. And that would make it hard. He'd have to be like a zombie.
Yeah,
only like 4 decades before me, 7 before them.
Well, you guys, this is the month of November, and it is Thankful Month. So we're asking everybody this month that comes on the Author Talk what they're thankful for. So, Russ, I'm gonna kick it to you first, and then the rest of us will say something that we're thankful for. It doesn't have to be your number one overall because we are kind of putting you on the spot, but just one thing that you're thankful for.
That is so simple because I am so thankful for life. And after God who created me, I am super thankful for my beautiful, gorgeous wife who I get to do life with every day, who blesses me, who corrects me, who keeps me on track, who makes me laugh and smile, who loves me. And that is my number one thing that I'm thankful for.
I love it. How do you follow up to that like that? I love that. I truly do.
Russell gets to go next.
No.
Okay, I can follow that. I'm thankful Fern found that can of Ray. Or we'd have never had this show.
This show would have been seriously tense because I would have been like looking around where is
that would have been good. I'm not thankful you found that can of Ray.
He takes it back. Fern, what about you?
You know what? I'm gonna say, I mean, there's so much to be thankful for, and obviously family and God and just all the beautiful people in my life. But honestly, I am most thankful that God gave us dogs.
Yeah. Yes.
Dogs are beautiful beings. I
Russell is dying over there. Oh my gosh. I feel you, Fern. I feel you. I love my dog just as much. So I feel you. I feel you. I understand that.
Usually my dog is sleeping right next to me as we're talking here. We have a beagle and she just sleeps right here with me. So
no,
they're glorious. I mean, look, they love you. They really teach you the important things in life.
They do.
Be happy no matter what. Play and just love. They just want to love and be loved. And that's it, you know?
Or eat. That's all my dog wants to do.
Eating is one of the
It's a pot-bellied pig looking thing.
They do eat. Yeah, they do eat and poop a lot, but they do love you all the time. Yes.
They do. Yes, absolutely. I would say I'm most thankful for my daughters. I didn't want children in life, and God knew that it was meant for me to have daughters of all things. And so I have 2 daughters that push my patience to extraordinary limits, but I love them nonetheless, and I am very thankful for them. And so it's just, it's one of those things. God knows what my life needed before I did. And so I'm very, very thankful for that. But this has been so much fun. Russ, I'm so glad that we've connected through Vincent. And this is amazing. And I love it. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come on. So with that, I'm going to go to closing statements and comments. So since Russell went first on the thank you, I'm going to go to Fern first.
Closing comments. I love your book, Russ. And y'all, if you need to get a copy of this book because it's got great material. And it's always important to feed ourselves on those things that will build us up. And so, Russ, I think you have done that with this book and with your the workshops that you do and everything. I'm looking forward to, getting to have you more in our community.
Thank you.
Yes. Russell?
My last question, my last comment is, Russ, how do they find your book to buy it?
Well, there's many different ways. Besides russhedge.com, you can go to my buy book now on there, but also Amazon and all online booksellers. And if you just happen to be in the Oregon, Southwest Washington area, you can also find it in bookstores.
Wonderful. I love it. I will be dropping all the links in the comments so they can get familiar with your book and where all they can buy it, Russ. But like I said, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I'm sure it is super early over there in Oregon. I mean, it's like, 8 a.m. there? Like, it's 10 here. At least, we're up functioning and had some coffee. 8 a.m. I'm just getting out of bed. It's a roll out of bed kind of thing.
Murder. What are you talking about? I already committed murder.
I've been up since 4 a.m.
Oh my goodness. Power to you. Okay. Power to you 100%. But no, this has been so much fun. We'll definitely have to have you on again. And we'll be contacting you about the Houston Writers Guild and speaking. I'd love for you to come talk to Through the Eyes of Authors. But you guys, we hope you all have a fantastic Monday and a great week. And we'll catch you all